It's no secret that I'm a huge PlayStation fan. If you've watched my channel at all, you would be able to see that, because basically all of my videos so far have been a PlayStation IP, console or topic. And I even like to keep the backlight of my keyboard the PlayStation blue colour. But I also have a Nintendo Switch. I actually got mine very close to launch and I love it. I've spent countless hours playing the thing, and the ability to take home console quality games with me anywhere I go is nothing short of amazing. But you already know how the Nintendo Switch works. Throughout these countless hours, a few games have really hooked me. Mario Odyssey, Stardew Valley, and the game this video is going to be about, Animal Crossing. A quick look at my profile page will show you I've sank a nice 55 hours. While I may have slowed down considerably since April and May, because now in Ireland we can leave the house, the game still has no issue sucking me in for an hour that feels like 5 minutes. Even whenever I was gathering the footage for this video, I sat down and decided 15 minutes should cover me for the background gameplay, and just like that, half an hour had passed. And I'll talk about why that is kind of a strange phenomenon in just a second. Before we get into today's video, please hit that like button down below, as it helps me with getting recommended to other people just like you. I said the way Animal Crossing New Horizons hooks you is strange, because you're not really working towards an end goal or anything. You're definitely working towards making your island the best it can possibly be, but that never ends. There is a constant stream of free updates being provided by Nintendo right now, and for the people like myself who don't time travel, there's still 2 seasons in the game that we haven't seen yet. This video, for anyone watching in the future, is from August 2020. The game came out in March 2020, I think, so we haven't got to see fall or autumn or winter yet in the game. And I've slowed down playing the game, like I've said, but when it turns autumn, I'm going to want to see what bugs and fish and new items that the new season brings. On paper, this game sounds so mundane and boring. I actually tried explaining it to somebody a few months ago, and they were getting what I was saying, but they couldn't process how it's fun, and I'm not sure I could blame them. Their main takeaway was that you're a loyal subject of a raccoon, and that you're always in debt to said raccoon. And while that is probably the easiest gameplay mechanic to explain, to most people they won't get it. Then you tell them you catch bugs and fish and collect art for an owl called Blathers, and it gets more obscure. Then you say you spent an hour straight chopping down trees and shoveling stones to get resources to craft 100 of a single item to sell to 2 baby raccoons who run a store, just so you can get enough of a currency called bells to pay off your mortgage. That's right, in this happy fun Nintendo game rated 3 and E for everyone, they have you slaving away to pay a mortgage. That's life lessons they don't teach you in school, and I'm honestly surprised Tom Nook doesn't have you filing your taxes on all the money you can only make through his store. Sometimes I think back to how I was extremely skeptical before jumping into Animal Crossing, and during my playthrough I was confused as to why I wasn't more open-minded. Well, after writing that last paragraph, I wholeheartedly understand that past point of view, but I hate to say it, but it's wrong. Something about all those things coming together with all that classic Nintendo charm is not something you get very often, and it all just works. You want to collect bugs and fish just to tick them off the list or sell them to that lizard who loves to purchase them. I do, however, hate giving them to Blathers. This may be an unpopular opinion, but I really dislike Blathers. He takes your stuff and never shuts up. Like, if I want to give him something, he'll take 4 hours analysing it, and then 4 hours accepting the fact that I don't want to listen to him tell me about it. Then he takes another 4 hours to take the bug or fossil off me, unless he spends 4 hours telling me that he'd love to take it, but he already has one in the museum. As emotionally draining as that owl is, the museum definitely does look pretty cool, all things considered. That's just one of the many things that drives you to keep playing. Then of course you've got the fact that you can design your house however you want. My house is fairly messy, but my bedroom and bathroom aren't awful. It's just that every time I see a piece of furniture in Timmy and Tommy's shop, I want to buy it for whenever I eventually pay off my mortgage and to get more rooms in my house, but it means I have no space for these things, and I could put them in storage, but then I can't look at the cool things I bought. Then you've got the islanders, and I mean, they can be funny or annoying or both. There was this frog who recently wanted to move onto my island, and he asked me to play a game where I had a 1 in 3 chance of winning, which made it look like he didn't want to move in at all, but then I won because I feel like, this being a kid's game, it's impossible to lose. But then he found out my island is full, and he asked would I mind if one of my favourite islanders left for him to live there, And I was like, nah. Then he got a bit passive aggressive with me. Is any of this relevant to why Animal Crossing just works? Definitely not, but kind of yes. The game is full of funny little encounters, and sometimes the people who live on your island will just come out with wild statements, or you'll catch them dancing in the middle of the island, and it's just all really fun to observe, a little bit reminiscent of Tomodachi life. The game is such a detox from heavily narrative driven blockbuster experiences, and if you've watched my channel you would know I'm all about those games, but there's something so refreshing about just being able to switch off and chill with a load of animal people who all have fun personalities. There's nobody shooting at you, no grenades going off, no backstabbing, no threat, just a place to relax. And you need that every so often, not just a break from other video games, because obviously not everyone playing Animal Crossing are also playing titles such as The Last of Us and Ghost of Tsushima, but Animal Crossing offers an escape from the real world. It honestly couldn't have come at a better time too. When we got told we have to stay indoors and not live our lives for a few months, we got this amazing game to distract us from it all, and we just needed that, which adds to why Animal Crossing New Horizons works so well. Something I love is that there is a clothes shop and it updates every day, so not only am I hoarding random furniture, I'm hoarding clothes, but it's literally run by Sonic. Isn't that so cool that Sega would license out their biggest character to Nintendo like this? Okay, that's a joke, but this isn't just a coincidence that there is a blue hedgehog in the game. I think it's really funny that there is a blue hedgehog in the game because there is nothing subtle about it. Except she's called Mabel. She's Mabel Abel along with her sister Sable Abel. And sometimes their other sister Label Abel comes along, and Label Abel is starting her own fashion label, and electricians use cable to wire the electricity in houses. Sometimes stories are called fables and you eat food right from the table. I just needed to talk about the Abel sisters in Animal Crossing. I love their shop. The final gameplay aspect I'm going to touch on, and sadly I have no footage of this, but I have a couple of screenshots, is visiting someone else's island. You pour a lot of time into making your island uniquely yours, and most other people who get into the game do the same. That's why it's so fun in such a special way to go to someone else's island and just have them give you a tour, show you around and tell you about their progress in the things they've invested in. Everyone's island is different because everyone is different, and I just love that. Before we wrap up, we have to talk about the staggering sales figures of this game. I've never seen anything like this before in my life. The most recent sales figures that we've seen is that the game has sold over 22 million copies. That's in what, like 4 months? To put things into perspective for you, Uncharted 4 has sold 15 million copies, and the first Last of Us game has sold 17 million copies. Nintendo has said this game has already surpassed their estimated lifetime sales, and it's just astonishing how well Animal Crossing has done, because people expected it to do good. It's a first party Nintendo game, it's destined to do good, but this is exceptionally good. It's right behind Mario Kart 8 Deluxe at 26 million, but it seems most people pick up Mario Kart with their Switch. I know I did, but that was back when launch games were fairly limited. It really is great to see a somewhat underdog Nintendo IP do this well. I know it has had a massive fan base for years, but it's outsold the Switch's 3D Mario game and Zelda game. That's all for today though, and I'm aware this was a little bit of a departure from my usual action-packed Sony blockbuster videos, but I mean, hey, we got to chill out and relax and got to talk about Animal Crossing for 10 minutes or however long this video ends up being. I hope you enjoyed today's video because I enjoyed making it, and if you did happen to enjoy, you could always hit that like button. It helps me with getting recommended to more people just like you, and if you really enjoyed, you could always subscribe. If you want to stay up to date with the channel, you can find me over on Twitter as @AnthonyJGaming. I'm also on the PlayStation Network as AnthonyJGaming, and finally you can find me over on Instagram as AnthonyJosephGaming. Thank you again so much for watching. Bye.